in a second. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sina, for doing this call for my six-week coaching group. They are so excited to hear from you. The reason that I appreciate, first of all, thank you for taking your time out to do this, because in Plexus, I think that we are unique in that people are willing to help across teams. There's absolutely nothing that you're going to get from this other than just, continuing to build a friendship, but you don't get anything financially from helping me, so thank you so much. I am currently working with a group of about 30 people who are working on getting to Emerald as fast as they can. So I figured that you were a really good person to bring on because you and I connected fairly early on. I think I joined maybe 5 months after you or something in Plexus. And pretty soon I found you in the Destination Diamond page. And I thought, okay, she's positive, she's motivated. I do a little bit of Facebook stalking and I see, how people present themselves. And I was really careful about the friends that I picked. More than anything, because as a way to save my time, I only wanted to follow people who I thought, were going to present the business themselves the way that I do. And so you always had that positive professional attitude, and so I followed you from the beginning. And I think just building those friendships in Plexus, I say to my team all the time how important that is, because those are the people that when you first start out in Plexus, those people who are where you are in your business are critical, because you lean on each other for posting, you lean on each other for ideas, for boosting your posts. And sometimes your upline that has a big team doesn't have as much time as somebody who's where you are in your business does. So that you were one of those people for me. So of course I thought of you for this, because this week's talking about leadership. And I really think that people get hung up on the concept of what leaders are like and what they do and what they look like. I think it would really be a blessing to my team and pretty much to everybody to see that it's not necessarily a big charismatic personality that is a leader. And so we had Kelly Norman on earlier this week, and she is that. She's just very bold and confident and has that very gregarious personality. And I really wanted them to see the comparison and say, both of these are highly successful people, very highly successful in Plexus, but their personalities aren't the same. So leadership is not about a personality. And so let me see, I'm going to make sure that I don't lose track, because I can go off on a rabbit trail like the best of them. But anyway, I remember when you and I were up on stage at convention this year, and so when they were announcing Senior Rubies, now Sina has already gone Emerald, but at the time at convention we were Senior Rubies, and we both found our way to the center of the stage behind everybody, sandwiched in between everybody, because both of us don't like to be on camera. We're both more reserved personalities, and we just thought it was really funny that we just ended up right next to each other, hiding from the cameras. And so that's, one of the two main reasons that I really wanted you on this call. Besides the positivity factor, which I don't think can be undervalued. I think as a leader, if you don't really hang on to that, I'm going to do this no matter what, and I'm going to stay positive and infuse that into my team, I really don't think you can do it. So let me do, how about can you tell us a little bit about yourself, and like you and your husband and what you do, and a little bit about your journey to Emerald, just so people know a little bit about you.
Okay. I'm Sina Patel. I live in Spring, Texas, and I'm bar, and I lose cell phone coverage, so you see for
Can you guys hear her? She's driving, and so, okay, hang on 1 second, because we lost you a little bit. She's had some good reception, so as soon as we get her back, you froze on us, but I can hear you. I'll cover. When you start moving again, I'll wave my hands, but your screen is frozen. Let's see. So, well, I will let you know that Sina did get to go to Maui this year, because we were breathlessly waiting in July, kind of as, I don't know if it was like the 28th or something. It was down to the wire in July, and we were waiting to see if, I think you were pretty sure that it was going to happen, but I was so excited. Oh, she's back. Okay, go.
Okay. Okay. Like I said, Sita Patel from Spring, Texas. And yes, my journey to Emerald is very different. I joined in June of 2013. I think I was at Senior Ruby for about a year, and that didn't stop me. Did I get discouraged at times? Absolutely, because that's a human. Everyone gets discouraged at times, but I stayed positive. We kept working our business. Sometimes you get stuck in, management mode with your team, and so you forget to work your own business. But we made sure that we were always working on customers, working on getting new ambassadors, new teammates, training, and like you said, it was down to the wire in July 28th, and I hit Emerald, and so it's been crazy fun. It's been exciting. Maui was absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. We can't wait for more of our team to join us. I think one of the most rewarding things in this whole business for me will be when I have my first jewel on our team. So we are excited about that.
Awesome. Can you tell them a little bit about too, like what your background is? I think.
Sure. Sorry. We have one daughter. She's 13. I'm an occupational therapist by trade. My husband is an airline pilot. He's been able to stay home for the last year and a half, thanks to the Plexus business. And I hope to just fully retire him coming up here next year. That's our goal. And other than that, I still do work. I work 2 days a week still. I work contract as an occupational therapist in the school district. So I love working with my kids.
Awesome. I actually, I retired from daycare in June, but one of my daycare parents was an occupational therapist too she still is. So I get to hear a lot about what that line of work is like. Well, I'm so excited because I know that I'm going to be in Hawaii with you next time. And
will be.
I'm so excited about that. So I've been on both sides. I really, on both sides in terms of having a really bold, sort of outgoing personality, because I'm a little bit of both. And I think I kind of see that in you too, that you bring it out where it's necessary, but you're more reserved like I am. And so I kind of wanted to ask you if you saw yourself as a leader when you started Plexus. Was that something that grew, or did you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I know what you're saying. I found myself having good qualities that a good leader has. I didn't necessarily see myself as a leader when I started. And I believe that daily, we're growing. I don't know if y'all have done the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, but the first one is law of the lid. And I truly feel that I grow as a leader absolutely every single day with every, thing that comes across our team, every obstacle, every situation that I experience. I'm always growing as a leader. So no, I didn't see myself as a leader when I started out with Plexus, but I really, probably around Senior Ruby, started investing in me and investing in personal growth. And I really think that that's what helped me become a better leader.
Right. Did you feel like your team started to see you as a leader, maybe even before you did, and like lean on you in those? Because that's what happened to me.
Right. It's one of those weird things where once you realize that you need to be, you realize that you've always been a leader in their eyes. Just you may, from experience, or you just feel like you're not a leader, but you have been a leader the whole time. So when I started investing in myself and started reading some more personal self-growth books, I was like, oh yeah, I have been doing that. Or, things I would come across just, made me feel like I have been a leader this whole time. And yes, my team, has always seen me as a leader.
I have a question for you that did you do anything in particular to try to bring out, because as you know, being a leader in Plexus, the last thing we want to do is create followers and create people that are dependent on us. So do you have any kind of tips and strategies of like maybe what did you do to help bring out those leader qualities in the people on your team?
Absolutely. I've always encouraged, whenever anyone goes gold, senior gold, make sure you have your team page. That needs to be where your team can come to you and look up to you, and you can run contests, and you can just kind of keep a good handle on your team. But when I won the trip to Denver back in, I guess, March or April, I can't remember when that was, to go see Jen Hawkins, I did ask her the same exact question. And a lot of it's tough love. And the funniest thing, the best piece of advice she gave me was, anytime that you get a personal message or a text from your teammate, wait 24 hours before you respond, and never ever give the answer if it's something that can be found. Give them the opportunity, show them where they can find the answers, but let them do that themselves. So the 24-hour rule for me is a hard one because I want to respond every time I see a message, but I'm getting better about not being tied to the computer or my phone, and I think that's really helped my team grow.
Yeah, you know something, it's funny, we almost started to get into that a little bit before I started recording the call, but that particular thing that you just mentioned is a huge downfall of mine, because I really just want, and like you, just want everyone to succeed, and I want to get them their answers as quick as they need them. But I will say that when I go back and forth with being good about it, but when I get good at not answering right away, and even either letting them see that I read it or not reading it, because you can see the top line sometimes. Yep. When I get good at that, I see those people grow, and there are people that I knew were becoming dependent on me, and it was my own fault because I was letting it happen. So I have a question. I'm going to jump topics a little bit. I think those were awesome tips. I think that's going to be very helpful. Do you think that there's kind of a one-size-fits-all personality for leaders?
Absolutely not. I call myself the extroverted introvert, and my friend circle is small. There's nothing wrong with that. Tight, close friends, but it's a small circle. I don't like being in the middle of crowds. I tend to stay towards the edges of rooms whenever we're in big events. That's just my personality, and if I can be successful in this business that requires you to have a big person,
right?
Then I think anyone can do this business.
I 100% agree with that. And like I said, I find myself a little, I feel a little on both sides of that, and I tend to do the same thing. I tend to stay to the back, and even remember that first leaders retreat. It was funny because we went into that restaurant, and you had those awesome costume that my daughter noticed, and I was like, I know her. But we both went off and kind of found our own little spot and our quiet spot after all the partying and everything, and everybody else was still partying.
Yep, that's not me.
No, but I can party, so I'm a little both, but I tend to be more reserved. Here's a funny thing that I have found about leadership. It's not about charisma. It's not about how smart somebody is. It's not about whether you have this amazing strategic plan. I didn't know any of that. It was when people started referring to me as a leader, I was blindsided. I didn't know what, and it was a lot. And they were saying in these beautiful messages, but I kept laughing at them and saying I would show my husband and say, look, they just calling me a leader. This is so funny because that's so not me, because I had the wrong idea of what that meant. It turns out that really being a leader is about nurturing others, empowering others, caring about others. Have you found the same thing?
Absolutely. My love language is gifts. I love rewarding my teammates. We do awesome contests on our team page. Even just sending a random text message, to random people on our team. It, doesn't even have to be a level 1, level 2. I've connected with 7, 8, 9. I mean, you just reach out to everyone on your team, regardless of where they are on your team. So,
yeah, I have found that same thing, that probably my biggest strength and what got me to where I am, besides staying focused and having an absolutely no matter what attitude, knowing that if it could be done, I could do it. If it's possible to be done, I can do it. The other side of that has been, like you just said, reaching out to people all over the place and just making those connections, and then helping them make those connections with one another as well, and strengthening their support system in any way that I could. So I really appreciate all of your input. Do you have maybe a couple of tips just for this up and coming group of rock stars? Just anything you maybe want them to know or wish you had known?
Sure. Number 1, be consistent in every aspect of your business. Whether that is, growing your PV, whether it's posting consistently, taking your product consistently. Consistency is key. in all aspects of your Plexus business. Remaining positive regardless of what's going on, regardless of back office issues you may be having. Always have a smile on your face. Always radiate that to your team too. Whether you have one person on your team or you have 5,000, you know, like I said, they are always looking to you as a leader, and they're going to do what you do. So, you know, one of my biggest things to my team is people watch you on Facebook. Be careful with what you post on Facebook. Be careful with what you say when you're in public. People are always watching you. So that is one of my biggest pieces of advice is you always want to be careful with how you present yourself. And, you know, you are a Plexus ambassador. You are representing not only Plexus, but your team as well.
Yeah, I thank you so much. And I agree with that. I think, and again, that's exactly what kind of connected to me to you in the first place and some of the others. And I think it's funny because I found that the people that I did connect to in the beginning for those very reasons are all Senior Ruby or Emerald at this point. So I just think that's so cool. I don't maybe anybody has gone beyond that, but I think that's all where most of us are. I love that. Well, first of all, one of the things I want to wrap up with that I'm not sure we talked about a ton is that how you think of yourself, and that's kind of the point of this, how you think of yourself and how you view yourself matters. And that's kind of why I'm doing this, is to try to blow out of the water people's perceptions about what they can or can't be, or whether they can be a leader, or whether this is possible for them. You know, I love when we talked to Kelly Norman earlier this week, and she said, you really need to make a list of people who depend on you. And I thought it was cool. She gave a really interesting story about that. And I think that that's true, that when you start to, whoever it is that depends on you, whether it's your big team or whether it's your family, for what you're doing, and that at those difficult times, no matter how difficult things are, no matter how busy, no matter how bad the back office issues are, or, you know, things going wrong, or people dropping off your team, because it happens, people leave and people stop doing the business who you were counting on. No matter what, you know, you have to look at who's depending on you, and that's huge, because I can't fathom letting down the people that I have already given the vision to. Like, hey guys, we can do this, let's do it. I could never imagine, and I wouldn't walk away, but I can't fathom walking away, you know, now that they're running with the ball. Like, I'm there with them, we're doing this together. So anyway, but we can't run it for anyone, so we're building leaders here. So,
Exactly.
Well, I just want to thank you so, so much. I don't think I have anything else for this. I hope you have a fun time, and with your team that you're going to your event. Thank you for taking time out of your drive to talk to us.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right, does anybody want to stay on and ask any questions today while you have me for a second? Because I got to run and pick up my son from school.
No, I just had a question about the contests. I mean, I guess I was thinking about how Sina was saying that she runs contests and is successful with it. And I feel like I ran one contest several months ago to have my silver ambassadors, or trying to get people to silver. And the only people that would have promoted without the contest promoted. And it didn't motivate anybody else to promote. So what in the world, how do contests work for some people, when for me, I feel like if someone was gonna do it, they'd do it anyway?
Well, I'm going to answer one quick second, and then Sina is still here, and she might want to throw something in. But I have run through those same problems. The same thing has happened to me before, and I've learned lessons with running incentive contests. You actually can't use the contest to motivate people who might not be motivated, because they're going to do it anyway. The Elizabeths, the Angelas, the Sinas, we're going to do it anyway. But what you can use those for is to reward the motivated, is what I've found. But I'm going to let Sina say what she would say to that.
Absolutely. You can't want it for people, and you're not going to be able to, you know, motivation comes from within. What I like doing is the contest that I run, you have to find what people want, though. You know, you got to find out what works for your team, you know, what would they work for. You know, ask the team, you know, what kind of a contest they would want. But the contests that I run that get a lot of good out of are the IPA contests, the income producing activity contests. In fact, that's what we're doing for the month of December. Every week, there are 3 items that the team has to complete. And once they've completed it, they just send me snapshots of what they've done. And there's weekly drawings. Sometimes a month-long contest, it's too long for people to be able to digest. So sometimes breaking it down into weekly contests and income producing activity is what really helps my team.
That's a great idea. So what do you give away for a 1 week? What would you give away?
Right now, and of course it's, Emerald allows me to do a little bit more for my team. But right now we are doing gift cards. They're just Visa gift cards, and they range in value from 20 all the way to 50. And the envelopes are marked with a number. So at the end of the week, whoever the winner is going to pick an envelope.
Awesome. And then do you do that through do you do that through certain levels, or do you just open it up?
This one is open to the entire team. I do have a contest that's going on right now for my level 1s, and then I do have a contest that's going on for my levels 1 through 4s that has lasted all the way from October through December. So it's a pretty big contest. They have to basically double the amount of numbers that are on my level 1 through 4. So we had to add a specific amount of people by the end of that time in order for them to win that contest.
Yeah. That is awesome. I love your ideas. That's not something that I've done with the weekly, or I love the envelopes and the gift cards. I do find that the little incentives are very motivating to people if you, like you said, figure out what works and what's going to actually. I like to also try to get a little bit of activity from people who otherwise might not do anything, because that actually really makes a difference if you do that in big numbers. Getting somebody to work towards maybe $50 or $100 prize is sometimes more effective, because you get a lot of little worker bees who have they'll exert some energy to do that, but it might really boost you forward a little bit. You might pull in some workers on those levels 2 and 3. And for me, anything that helps my downline be successful helps me anyway.
Correct.
Anyway, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, ladies, I am going to run and pick up my son. He has an early day from school because we have an activity, but I will see you all on Sunday.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.